Hi, second grade, it's Mrs. Gorski, and I'm back again with another money video. So the first video that I had, it was talking about simple coin combinations that you were counting. So you were counting just pennies, just nickels, just dimes. Now, we also had some nickels and pennies and nickels and dimes in that video also. Now this one, we're kicking it up a notch a little bit. So we are going to be mixing three types of coins. So we're going to be doing dimes, nickels, and pennies. Now in this particular arrangement, I have all three types of coins. So let's just review the three types and their values. So the first one that you see here, of course, is going to be a dime. The dimes are worth 10 cents. So therefore, if you're skip counting, remember you're skip counting by tens. Here I have a penny. Now remember, pennies, you count by ones. And over here, I have a nickel. It's the back side of a nickel. So nickels are worth 5, so you're skip counting by fives in that case. Now, in order for you to count these correctly, the first thing I always tell my students is we need to make the arrangement correct. It's not that you can't count what's here, but to me, it's difficult because I can't go from skip counting by tens, then by ones, then by tens, then by ones, then by fives, then by ones. It's just going to be too difficult. It's going to be a little messy. So what I want to do is I'm going to arrange these coins by value. So I want the greatest value first, and then it's going to go down to the least value. So I'm lucky here because my dime is first. Dimes are going to have the greatest value because they're worth 10. So if I have any other dimes in this arrangement, which I do, I'm going to take it and they are now going to become first. Now looking at what I have the rest, I have pennies, nickels, penny. So I have to think about who's worth more. Obviously the nickel is worth 5. So therefore, I'm going to put the nickel after the dimes, and then the pennies, of course, are going to be last. They are worth the least because they're worth 1. So now when we're going to be counting, you're going to have to use your brain really hard, and you're going to have to skip count 3 different ways. So you're going to have to skip count by 10, switch it to skip count by 5, and then again, you're going to have to switch it to skip counting by 1. So in order for me to do this, and in order to keep your brain on track, because some of us might be very good at this and you don't need to write things down. But for some of us that are just learning this technique, it might be good just to write your values down as you're counting so you don't lose track of how you're counting. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with my first dime, which in my brain, I'm going to say 10. Here's my next dime, still counting by tens. 20. Now look, the coin is changed. So now it's no longer a dime. I can't say 30. I have to say 25 because that is a nickel. Now, for some of us that might not know automatically it's 25, this is a technique that I always teach my second graders. If you know how to skip count by tens, that is fine. But sometimes changing over to nickels could be a little difficult. So watch what I'm going to do. 10, 20. I'm going to put my hand down because a nickel's worth 5 and I have 5 fingers. So 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So notice how that matches. It's 25. So now I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to go right to my pennies. So I'm going to go from 25, and now I have to start counting by ones. So 26, 27, and 28. That last coin is now going to be the total. So 28 cents is going to be the total for this set. Now stay tuned. I'm going to do another set with you. Okay, I'm back again. Now, what we have here, now we have 4 coins. Notice penny, nickel, penny, dime. So what I need to do first is always rearrange what I have. So I want the greatest coin first, greatest value. So looking at what I have, obviously the greatest value is going to be my dime. So he is going to go first. Now I'm pretty lucky here because then who comes next would then be my nickel, and then I'm going to finish up with the 2 pennies. Okay, so now it's a much better arrangement. I'm better off. I can count easier now. So what I want to do is, remember, you're going to start with your greatest value first. This is your dime, so he's going to start with 10 cents. Now remember, you have to transition. You have to change. Your brain has to change its focus and skip count differently now. We're going to skip count by 10 and then go to a 5. So it would go from 10. Now it's 15. If you're not a person that might know that, remember the technique. Put your hand down. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. See how it matches. Now you're going to be going into the last 2 pennies, counting by ones. 15, then 16, then 17 cents. Okay? Stay tuned. We're going to do another one. Now, I hope with this third one, you're going to be starting to count more with me. All right? So here we go. Okay, I'm back again. Now, I have quite an arrangement here. So, again, I have dimes, nickels, and pennies. What should be the first thing I should do? Thinking about it, I'm going to make that arrangement. I'm going to switch these coins around. I'm going to make them go from the greatest value to the least. So let's remember, greatest value, if I'm dealing with dimes, nickels, and pennies, it's going to be dimes. So I'm going to put him first. I'm going to find all my dimes. They are going to go first. So here we go. Now, I have nickels and pennies left. You know who should come next? Next greatest value after the dime, nickel. And then we are going to be putting our last of our pennies. So here we go. I'm going to automatically start counting. I hope you're going to be counting with me. 3 dimes. Remember, you're counting by tens. 10, 20, 30. Changing it up. Going to a nickel. So if you know 5 more, you know it should be 35. If you don't know what would be next, put that hand down. 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Changing it up again. Going to my pennies. 36, 37, 38, and 39. Notice how also I'm writing your cent signs because we're dealing with money. I like to use those symbols. It's really important that we do. Still using those cent signs. 39 cents on this one. Let's try 1 or 2 more. Stay tuned. Okay, now, here I have it. Not many pennies this time, but that's okay. Remember, first things first, I always want to make my arrangement. So I want to go from the greatest to the least. Think about greatest. I have penny, nickel, dime, dime, nickel. So you know the greatest value in this case is going to be the dimes. They go first. Pushing these guys down. Who should come next? Greatest value. I hope you're saying nickel because they should be next. And the last should be the penny. So now here I go. Skip count by tens, 5s, 1. So here we go. 10 cents, 20 cents. Going to a 5. 25 cents. 5 more. 30 cents. 1 more. 31. Now remember, what's the technique if we don't know with the changing over and skip counting by 5s? Put your hand down for each 5 you see. It's okay to do that. 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Look, it matches. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Ooh, it matches. Then you're 31. This total will be 31. Stay tuned. 1 more. Okay, now this one's definitely going to be different than all the other ones we had because all the other ones had some pennies involved. This one doesn't. And it's okay because it can happen. We might not need pennies or we just don't have any pennies available. So in this case, you're only going to see dimes and nickels. So remember, first things first, I always start with my arranging. I want the greatest value first. You know what it is, dime. So here we go. I'm going to find all my dimes. They are going to go first. And obviously, the only other option that I have to go last this time is going to be my nickels. So I'm going to put my nickels just like that. Okay, so here we go. We want to start counting. We're going to go from tens, then we're going to change over to fives. So here we go. 10, 20, 30, 40, changing it up, change it to a 5, 45, 5 more, 50, 5 more, 55. So let's do that other technique and when you change over from the 10s to the 5s, just in case if you might not know. 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. That is your complete total. So I hope you can practice this a little bit too at home because this is the kind of money combinations that starts to get tricky. And yet we don't have quarters involved yet. So keep on practicing. This is something that's going to take time and effort. So keep on working hard. I know you're doing really well, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day, everybody.